So how good are you? And does it really matter what you think? Well, stay tuned. I'll give you my opinion. Hi, I'm Tony Cecchine, and welcome to the channel. You know, a lot of times people will tell you that you may have a big ego, or, you're a little too modest. And, everybody's different. We all bring our personality to training. And as a coach, I look at things differently than I did as a student or as an active athlete. For me, I always believed in myself. I always thought I was okay at what I was doing. But more importantly, I always knew where the pecking order was. And this is in everything that I've done, okay? All sports, all hobbies, all studies. I always felt that, I'm doing okay, but, I can do better, or this person or that person is who I'm shooting for. And I think, to me, that is a huge key. Many times I've trained guys who have actually not been as good as they think they are. In essence, they kind of have a little bit of an ego. And it's difficult sometimes to approach those guys because many times when they get, for lack of a better term, exposed in the gym, they leave. They quit. They're like, embarrassed or whatever. Or they come up with every excuse in the book. And there's really not much you can do about that. It's sad when that happens, and that's when you have to be like an armchair psychologist. You have to try to approach the person and, discuss things with him or her and say, look, don't give up. Use this as a stepping stone. And you can elaborate on it based on the kind of feedback you're getting from that party. But ultimately, it's up to them whether they stay or leave, and there's really not much more you can do about it. Conversely, I've trained people who were really a lot better than they thought they were, and in itself you would think sometimes modesty is a good thing, and it can be. But other times, modesty, legitimate modesty, can be, it can hold you back. It could be like handcuffing you. And what I mean by that is you sometimes start to believe that, I'm really not that good. Everybody else around me is getting better, and I'm not. When the truth of the matter is, you may be better than all of them. It's just that your modesty is preventing you from seeing that. And you need to know where you're at to keep that motivation going. Now, in my life, I was always kind of kicked down. I never was the type of guy that got a lot of compliments, certainly not from my family or my coaches. It wasn't until later, when I was a young adult, people were like, wow, Tony, you're good at this, or you're good at that. I got compliments, okay? I didn't necessarily get encouragement when I needed it during my formative years. So I think that, for me, was always my factor. I'm going to try to prove everybody that, I could do it, or I can excel and succeed. So I use that as my motivation. And along the way, I may have developed an attitude, but you know what? It got me from point A to point B. And along the way, I didn't hurt anybody, right? And I guess that's the key. So the two-prong approach here is one, first and foremost, for the coaches out there. You have to look at your students and really get to know them and see, what is it that's going to motivate them? It's like a school teacher a good teacher is trained to be observant. They look at their pupils and they see things that maybe sometimes aren't even spoken about. And that's how you have to be as a coach. You have to get to know the person, and sometimes it's not even in the gym that you can do that best. It's maybe in a social setting. But get to know him or her and see, is there roadblocks? Is his personality changing for some reason or another? And it is your job, ultimately, in my opinion, not to just give out techniques, but it's to develop the athlete. Make that person succeed. If all you're going to do is stand there and just show move after move after move after move, where's the interaction? Really, they can stay home and watch a video for that. Your job as a coach is to make everybody better. And sometimes you cannot do that by technique alone. it takes some talking to. It takes some psychology. And that's why I really believe every coach should study psychology. And for you students out there, give yourself an honest self-assessment. Don't always judge how you are necessarily by the people around you, because you don't know their background. You don't know their history. They may have strengths that are being shown all the time in the gym, and your strengths are never allowed to be demonstrated. Let's say you're very strong, and you have one of these coaches that are like, oh no, don't use your strength, it should be all technique and blah, blah, blah. Or, you're really fast and they want you to slow things down. You're not allowed to really shine. Your attributes are not allowed to be shown to the world, and most importantly, shown to yourself. So you have to look within, and you have to say to yourself, I know what's in me, and I know what's in everybody else, and blah, 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 and look at where you honestly think that you stand in the pecking order. When it comes to something that's cast in stone, black and white, like lifting weights, like an exact poundage, or a sprint speed, or playing a technical piece of music, you kind of know directly where you're at. But in the fight game and other things like that, where it's slightly artistic and very interactive, fighting, especially in the gym when you're sparring, a lot of it is dependent on who you're working out with. It really can be difficult to honestly know where you're at. So that's where I tell everyone, you have to have some self-esteem. You can't always have a defeatist attitude, but conversely, you can't think that you can lick the world and don't have to train hard. So a fine balance between modesty and what's a good word that I'm looking for? Enthusiasm. Let's shoot the moon. Know that no matter where you're at now, and no matter how good you are, or you think you are, even if you're the most arrogant person in the world, you know that you can get better. And always strive for that. Well, that's my little take on this subject. I hope it was helpful to you. You can always find me at catchrussell.com. I want to thank you very much for coming to this channel. Please, if you don't mind, hit the like and subscribe button and ring that bell so you can get updates on upcoming releases. As always, it's great to see you. I'll see you real soon.